Welcome to In the News with Double O Des. I'm Des Bernardo, giving you my perspective on news from South Africa and the rest of the world. There is something I want to discuss with you that I find very serious, and that is the right to protest, to assemble and actually protest. Now, under our constitution, we are given this right to be able to protest our government and their actions. And there's no law or regulations outside of a state of emergency, which we are not in, that allows for that to be infringed on. So when there's protests happening all over the country due to what our government is doing and the citizens not agreeing with it, they have a right to do that. Under the Disaster Management Act, there is no regulation that can actually be put in place to supersede what is your right with regards to the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. So, that right that you have to assemble and protest against the government cannot be taken away from you unless the Constitutional Court decides to grant a state of emergency. So, as long as we under the Disaster Management Act, the government knows that they cannot stop you from protesting. All they're allowed to say is that the regulations prohibit you from protesting, but they may not stop you from doing that. So you are allowed to go ahead and protest, and you should do exactly that if you feel that that is what needs to be done. And just to show you an example, there is going to be an assembly this coming Saturday. I know for sure in Cape Town and in many other places where people have decided that they're not going to be fearful of government and police threatening arrest, because the police cannot threaten arrest for protesting. They can threaten arrest for many other things, but not for that, especially if you're not stopping other civilians from carrying on with their normal duties. Now, there's an article in Business Insider about the restaurant workers who will be blocking roads next week in protest over lockdown rules. Now, I don't know about the blocking of roads. As far as I know, all they'll be doing is forming a chain all over Cape Town. Now, that certainly isn't blocking anything. It says here, restaurant, takeaways and coffee shops will take to the streets to protest against lockdown rules. They'll be dragging tables and chairs into the street in a peaceful process set for Wednesday, 22nd of July. The protest is expected to last between 12 and 2 o'clock. It follows massive job losses suffered by the industry due to the impact of the lockdown rules and the alcohol ban. Okay? And the article reads, restaurants, takeaways and coffee shops across the country will take to the streets next week to draw attention to the devastating effects of lockdown regulations on the industry. And I must fully agree with him. The government has no right to take your right away to make a living. They don't have that right under any circumstances, except for a state of emergency where they know that there is a threat that could wipe out the entire nation. So they have no right to decide for you that you don't have any way of getting an income. No government has that right. Business Insider has seen a letter sent by the Restaurant Association of South Africa, RASA, to the South African Police Service informing them of the protest. And the other thing is, you don't have to ask the police permission to protest. You go ahead and you protest. No permission needs to be granted at all under our constitution. I quote, due to the continual disregard for the restaurant industry, RASA and various other restaurants, takeaway shops and coffee shops will be embarking on a nationwide peaceful demonstration. Close quote. The letter reads, open quote again, each restaurant owner will move tables and chairs from the empty restaurants into the street in front of the establishment in protest of the current regulations and to highlight the plight of the industry. Close quote. RASA is calling it the Million Seats on the Street protest and is also planning to form a human chain from Parliament in Cape Town on the 24th of July. So I know that they're going to be forming a human chain and actually have lints, a 1 meter wide lints connecting the people so they don't physically touch each other. South Africa's restaurant sector is on its knees as the coronavirus crisis and stringent lockdown measures threaten the livelihoods of the 800,000 people employed in the industry. Restaurants are desperate to focus attention on their plight. RASA says it may sue government on behalf of its members for damages suffered by lockdown regulations, including a rebate on liquor licenses. Despite sit-down meals being allowed in restaurants after a months-long ban, alcohol sales with meals are still out of bounds, starving many restaurants of much-needed income. The reintroduction of the curfew from 9 in the evening till 4 in the morning will also knock their income. According to industry representatives, restaurants do the majority of their business after 5 o'clock in the evening. If restaurant staff need to be in their homes by 9, that means they need time to travel and to clean and to close the restaurant. This effectively cuts restaurants to only 2 hours of trade between 5 and 7. And I mean, that's suicide. I mean, it's not even worthwhile keeping a restaurant open for that period of time. Restaurants also say they have been let down by insurers like Santam and Guardrisk, who are refusing to pay out business interruption claims. The desperate situation has led to mass job losses across the industry and the closure of many prominent restaurants, including The Kitchen in Cape Town, where former US First Lady Michelle Obama famously had lunch in 2013. So people are going to protest more and more, and I support the fact that they want to protest and say how they feel. You have a right to do that. It is your constitutional right. And no subsequent law or subsequent regulation can override that inalienable right that you have from the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. The right to assemble and protest. You can do that. No government can stop you. The police can't stop you. The military can't stop you legally. If they do so, they are acting illegally. What you need to do is make sure that you stay on your side of the law with regards to all the other regulations. And if the police or the military ask you to stop doing what you're doing, even if they're wrong, if you don't listen to them, then it becomes a level 1 offense. And then they can arrest you for not listening to them. So keep that in mind. With any of these protests happening, that if they want to arrest people or tell you not to protest, they are breaking the law, and you can take them to court and sue government. And sue government you should. Sue them. You will just get paid out with your own money. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not yet. Please click the bell icon for notifications. And thank you very much. We are almost at 15,000 subscribers. It's incredible to see how the channel has grown. Thank you so much for all your support. There's many more videos coming up, especially in the Question Everything series. And I thank all of you that have gone back to the playlist to watch the past videos, to get up to speed with those. And I thank you so much for that. And you can soon look forward to interviews that I'll be doing with other people. Very, very important interviews where insight will be shared that most people are not privy to. And I look forward to sharing those interviews with you. Till the next video.